So you guys are a data, Xaxis is a data and a tech company, right? We've had this conversation with 24/7 coming in, you're really changing the DNA of the organization. How much of what you are doing is about building proprietary tools and platforms and is about building versus shaping, right? I know it sounds like semantics, but I think from an agency, coming from an agency culture, it's a big shift.
No, I would say 80% of what we're trying to do is building proprietary products. So when we think about that, what we're looking to do is it relates around two centers of gravity. One is data, the other is inventory. But when we have technology partnerships, that's obviously not proprietary. So we'll build using our engineering talent, certain technologies that we think are core to the business, our trading or decisioning engine, our DMP, our core. And then we'll partner with companies like Nexus, where we feel is appropriate on the other side.
And what is the agency remuneration model look like in 5 years, right? Let's say automation continues at the same clip of growth and adoption, and folks like Christie meet our bogey of 50% minimum by 2016. Are we at a FTE compensation model? Are we at a commission? Are we software as a service?
I don't know. I think it's going to continue to change. What the model isn't as important as what the service is for the agency. And I think the service, if we focus on that and think as an agency, what are we really trying to do? And as the market does get complex, where it shouldn't. So when we think about that, and as Jay just said, from Google's perspective, how do we make it simple? So, you look at what we've heard, and there was something yesterday, Netflix did an article on AdExchanger, and they were talking about bringing a trading desk in-house and the challenges to that. That's very complex to be able to do. So when we look at it, what are we actually trying to build and what are we actually trying to bring to it is actually our core, which is having a one-to-one conversation with customers and using all the tools at our disposal to give our clients an advantage in doing so. Again, it goes back to those two things, which are simple: inventory and data.
Where does purchasing power come into the conversation with automation, right? Because arbitrage is sometimes a good, sometimes is a dirty word, depending on your market, how you talk about it. But where does leveraging the power, the economics of scale of pulling all those dollars that you're moving at the holding company level, and then actually using that in an automated environment?
I think for our publishing partners, it has, we've got fantastic relationships. We pay on average 30% more than the open market. And people look at that and say, well, I think, aren't you trying to drive it down? The answer is absolutely not. So when we look at Group M, we spend $90 billion a year. What we're trying to do is go out and partner with these content providers and say, listen, programmatic is here. We see that it was $1 in $5, it's moving to $1 in $4. How do we together go into this relationship and provide an environment there you feel comfortable and you get value for your content? We feel comfortable because we're able to engage in that, and we don't have to put our clients in a marketplace where they're competing with local clients. So there's certain heft or weight that should be placed on media spend, and we want to make sure we take advantage of that, but not at the cost of the publisher. It's actually looking at the publisher, the content provider, and doing the exact opposite and say, listen, bring us your premium content. We're going to put it in a protected place and give you value to that, which in the end result brings tremendous scale and value to our clients.
But if you take sort of an opportunity lens of as an advisor to the supply side, right?
Sure.
So your perspective and that what you bring to the table. If you were to tell your premium video publisher partners where they should invest their energy and dollars in the next 12 months to better serve you to result in more net revenue spent on automated platforms, where would you direct their energies and their dollars?
Same place I always would have said 10 years ago. Provide phenomenal content that draws in individuals in an engaging experience for that consumer. If you continue to do that, if you make, for me, I love sports. If I go to ESPN, as long as there's great content that I want to be able to see and engage with, I'm going to continue to go there. If it's not as if just because there's now multiple choices for sports sites that I'm going to go to someplace else. No, there's great content there, and if that's the case, you're going to continue to be rewarded for that.
Do you feel like we've got with OCR, VCE, XCR, et cetera, sort of emerging, do you feel
Lions
like...
and Tigers and Bears, oh my.
Yeah. TLA.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel like we've cracked it out on measurement? Is it something we can sort of like, check that box, or? Because
I don't know if we cracked the nut. I think what we've done is we've put metrics in place that customers or our clients are comfortable with. We've been measuring GRPs for a long period of time since, when we first began TV, 1950, when it became the outlet that it is. But if I look to that now, clients are comfortable with GRPs. So when they look to extend their buy on digital, that's a comfort level for them. I think it'll change.
And they're willing to pay that premium, like for the Nielsen audience segmentation, and I mean...
Yeah, and it goes back to our partnerships with our clients. But yeah, the clients will certainly do that based off of what it is, because why should it change, right? Why would, if I'm a client, there's always going to be a different scale that I'm going to pay for. So they value content in different ways depending on what the KPI of that initiative is. So is the measurement there? Today it is. Will it continue to change? Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.